Johnny.
You're still afraid.
Stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I am Dracula.
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
The Thing from Another World. This is the spot where it was first seen. And these are the first people who saw the Thing.
Captain, it was awful. Those hands and those eyes. Captain, you've got to do something about it. You've got.
Is it human or inhuman?
What is going on, everybody? Stephen Hendricks here with the Spooky Moon podcast, back on the podcast. First time back on since the debut episode with Pee-wee, rather known as Preston, when we recorded the Halloween episode, in which I mentioned that I would be doing the podcast every Saturday or every other Saturday, which obviously didn't come to fruition. It just didn't work out really. Got more caught up into making videos and just didn't have time to put the effort in that I like to put an effort in for a podcast episode. Takes a lot of research. You got to find out what you're going to do the episode on and how to fill 40 minutes to an hour of the runtime on the one subject. And I just got into doing videos more. Back around that time I was still doing the mask stuff, which I'm still interested in, but I got more into doing movie reviews here recently. But I don't know, I wanted to get back on the podcast today. Had a very long and stressful 11-hour workday today, and I was just thinking while I was at work that I would like to really unwind and relax, sit back and just talk on the podcast for a little bit, and just talk about what I love, which is movies. I just really needed to relax and unwind. It's my weekend now. I've got a 3-day weekend. Been watching movies to prepare for the videos tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be making my Bloody Valentine review, which will come out Valentine's Day morning. I might watch it tonight if I'm not too tired, but if not, I'll watch it tomorrow morning and record the review. But anyway, I think with this podcast, what I'll do, because I do want to keep it alive, it's my baby, I came up with it, and I don't want it to just die after one episode. So I was just having a lot of complications with what I was wanting to do with the podcast. If I wanted to go on making them without a guest like Preston, like I am today, I'm all alone. I didn't know if I wanted to do them alone, if that would be interesting, if that'd be something I wanted to do. Because if I wanted to have a co-host, which I'm sure Preston would be interested, I just don't know how our schedules would align. If he would always be up to making one weekly or bi-weekly. And I think overall I've come to the conclusion that if I'm in the mood to make one like I was today at work, and I feel like I have something to talk about, or I just need to relax for a little bit like tonight and just talk about what I love, then I'll do them by myself every once in a while. And if I can get on with a guest or have somebody else talk about different stuff, then I'll gladly do that as well. I'm sure I'll have Preston on for quite a few more when we do like specific movie podcast on one singular movie, do a review and diagnosis of one movie. I'm sure we'll do plenty of those. And I think I'm just going to let it be a chill thing. Not going to promise a set schedule or anything like that. Maybe I'll do it once a month. Hopefully at least once a month, but maybe even once every other month. Might get to the point where I'm doing them weekly or bi-weekly, which would be cool. I got a new YouTube video schedule that I set for myself, which is 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'd be lying if I didn't say it was quite a bit more of a workload. I'm pretty much grinding on my days off from work, which I love it. I mean, it's fun. It's what I want to do. It's what I like to do. And I've been enjoying it a lot. So, with that schedule, I'd have to find a way to fit in a podcast if I was to do it weekly. Maybe I'll do them on my weekends, my Fridays, which today's a Friday. Which it's not actually Friday, it's Tuesday. Well, it's actually Wednesday night. It's actually midnight right now. It's 12:01 at midnight. I'm just chilling out. But Wednesday night is my Fridays. I get my 3-day weekend, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But maybe I'll start doing them then. And we'll see how it works out. I think it'd be pretty fun, pretty cool, if I can find things to talk about every week. We got quite a bit to talk about. The Super Bowl was recently on. And as you guys probably know, they showed a lot of movie trailers. They showed quite a bit of horror too, horror movie trailers, which is obviously what I'm centered around. Horror movies are that's my genre, but I watch other movies as well. I like action, a little bit of comedy, but definitely more horror and action. I like westerns. I get in western kicks every once in a while, but horror is obviously predominantly my genre. But thought we'd talk about those trailers that came out today, or not today, but on the Super Bowl, and some other movies that are coming out in 2024, horror movies for sure, but other movies as well, maybe. So let me go over to my page here that I have the trailers that came out, and I watched all of them because I watched the whole game. Quiet Place Day 1. They released a trailer, or it wasn't the full trailer, it was like a little snippet, in which I have not went on YouTube and watched the full trailer yet, because I need to watch the movies. I have seen the first one a long time ago. I need to rewatch it though, and I don't think I have seen the second one at all. But the snippet looked really cool. It's obviously a prequel, so I guess I could technically watch the trailer and be fine. And I might actually do a video watching all the trailers that dropped on the Super Bowl. I might do something like that, but it looked cool from what I seen. It didn't show a whole lot, but it definitely intrigued me. I bought the 2-pack Blu-ray, if you guys seen in my Blu-ray haul video. And I'm going to be watching part 1 and part 2 in preparation for day 1. And I think it comes out, when does A Quiet Place come out? I think it's pretty early on in the year. We got it coming out, June 28th, so midsummer. So we got a little bit, but I'm still looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good. I know that the movies are highly acclaimed in the horror or the horror community, and I can't wait to watch them. I think they're going to be really cool. Then we got, let's see what else we got here. Twisters. This one that came out of nowhere. I knew it was going to be on during the Super Bowl, but I heard about it I think not even 2 days before the Super Bowl. And I've always been a little bit of a fan of the original, although I can admit that it's definitely not the best movie. I loved it as a kid, and my mom had the VHS of Twister, the original, which I have right here. I'm holding it right now. I got it from her when I moved out because her few VHS tapes that she still had just sat in a cabinet, and I asked her if I could pick through them and have some of them. I think I picked out Twister. She had a copy of Titanic that I grabbed, but I remember watching Twister as a kid, and I've always liked Twister. It has a certain atmospheric vibe to it that I really like. And I'm looking forward to Twisters. I do have to admit that the snippet that they showed during the Super Bowl, it did look pretty cheesy. I think it's going to be just like a fun, goofy movie, honestly, from what I've seen. Obviously, Twisters, it's going to be like twin Twisters. I think that was like the big punchline of the trailer of the movie, is that they're twins, which is two tornadoes that are together. And the effects looked kind of goofy from what I've seen. I think it's just going to be like a guilty pleasure type movie. But I'll still definitely go see it just because I'm such a big fan of the original Twister. And I think it's not a very much talked about in the horror community. I think that's mostly because it's like a thriller action. I definitely wouldn't consider it horror even myself. It's definitely more of like an action thriller. But something I didn't know about Twister, which I just found out right before I started the podcast when I looked at the VHS that I grabbed, is that it's from the producers of Jurassic Park, which I knew, and the director of Speed. I never realized that, probably because I never seen Speed. I just watched Speed about a week or 2 weeks ago. If you're following my shorts that I made, I did like a Speed review of it. It's a Keanu Reeves action movie, 90s action movie, and I loved it. I really, really like Speed. It's like my favorite action movie that I've seen in quite a bit, and some people say that it's like a Die Hard ripoff, but it's like the best out of the Die Hard ripoffs. I guess I can kind of see that it's a little bit of a Die Hard ripoff, but really, it's not that much of similarities. I definitely loved it, though. It's quickly climbed to the top of my favorite action movies. And I guess he directed Twister, and I did not know that. So I definitely got to rewatch Twister. I haven't seen it in a couple years. I watched it religiously as a kid, but I haven't watched it in years as an adult. So I got to rewatch that one before Twisters. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun watch either way. Then we got one that really hyped me up. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. They showed a little teaser of this, and you know that you have a good film series when I personally have only seen the first one, and this new trailer hyped me up. So obviously I don't have like the authority to talk about this movie specifically because I still have 2 more to watch, but I watched that first one a week or 2 ago, and it is like an awesome movie. It blew me out of the water. It's just such a great movie, and I was not expecting it. And I've heard it's like one of the best trilogies that came out in recent years. So I had high expectations, and it blew those expectations out of the water. And this trailer just looked absolutely amazing. I mean, the effects looks even better, as though they could get even better. They were already great. And I can't wait to watch the other 2. I think it's going to be the next 2 movies I watch that aren't movies of necessity for the channel, that I don't need to do reviews on and tier rankings on, because I got to watch quite a few tomorrow for the channel. But when I have some free time to watch whatever movie I want, I'm probably going to watch the next 2 Planet of the Apes so I can get caught up, because they're coming out pretty soon, or that one's coming out pretty soon, I think. I don't have it pulled up right now, but I think it's coming out within the next couple months, or even next month maybe. So definitely got to catch up on those movies, because that looked freaking awesome. I cannot wait for that. And then they showed Deadpool and Wolverine, and I have not seen the Deadpool movies, but I've been hyped for this one because I've heard they're good, and I've been wanting to watch the Deadpool movies. It's been on my watch list for a while, which I'm going to talk about my watch list near the end of the podcast because it's huge. But it looked fun. It was really funny. They pulled some jokes out that are kind of wouldn't go over good with everybody, but I thought it was hilarious. I didn't think they crossed any lines that they shouldn't be able to, but I don't know. It looked like a blast of a movie. I don't really know like the controversy with Wolverine and how He's supposedly supposed to be dead. And I haven't seen the Wolverine movies or the X-Men movies at all. Like, at all. I barely watched the Marvel movies. And so I don't really care about that. I just know that this trailer looks really fun and really cool. I'll probably watch some Wolverine movies. I'll do my research and see which ones are necessary to watch before this. But I'm definitely going to watch the first 2 Deadpools, get caught up on those, and go and see this one in theaters because it looked like a lot of fun. Real quick, I don't have a lot to say about this one, but Wicked showed their trailer, and I hate musicals. I do not like musicals, like even the really highly acclaimed classic movies, like Wizard of Oz, the original Wizard of Oz. That one's more standable. I can watch that one, but I'm just not a fan of musicals at all, or whatever you want to call them. I don't like singing in movies at all. Never have, probably never will. But Wicked intrigued me only because Jeff Goldblum was in the snippet trailer. And I don't think I mentioned it on this channel yet because we haven't really talked about any of his movies, but anybody who knows me knows that Jeff Goldblum is in my top 3 favorite actors of all time. I absolutely love that guy. And not just the movies, I love his voice acting. He's the reason why, completely off topic, but he is the reason why Shadows of Evil is my favorite Call of Duty Zombies map, because he does the voice of the magic guy. Off topic, but thought I'd mention that. I love Jeff Goldblum. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. So that's the only reason it intrigued me, and yes, I will go and see a movie just to see him. I don't care. It could literally be watching paint dry for 2 hours just to see him act for 5 minutes. I would go see it. That's how much I love him. So I might go see Wicked. I probably will. I don't even know when it comes out, but just for Jeff Goldblum, there's a good chance I go see that movie. I'm going to hop over to Movie Phone and look at some other 2024 horror movies coming out. I just kind of tabbed a few of the big ones. There's a lot more that aren't necessarily big horror movies coming out, but I just tabbed the big ones and ones that I thought were interesting and I wanted to talk about. First up, we got Imaginary. This is the next one coming out. It's coming out early March next month. I'll be going to see it. It's the next one coming out of Blumhouse, and I feel like this is like the one Blumhouse movie that comes out every year, just like random horror movie that they drop every year. This is it for 2024, Imaginary. And I watched the trailer when it came out. It looked kind of fun. I mean, it looked pretty basic, but at the same time, it's just looks like basic fun. It's got this haunted teddy bear, I think, imaginary friend. I don't know. It looks like it'll be a pretty fun time. It didn't show me anything I haven't seen before, honestly, but you know, as a horror fan, we're all going to see it, and I'm kind of excited for it. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I mean, I'm not overly excited, but I'll definitely be there day one or as soon as I can. The first Omen. It's coming out April 5th, and I have not seen the Omen movies. I've been meaning to watch the original for a long time, and I think this is a prequel to the original, so I guess I could go see this one and then watch the original. It'd probably be sacrilege, but I'll probably end up buying the Scream Factory Omen collection. This movie's coming out pretty soon, so I don't know if I'll be able to watch all of them before that, but I'll make sure to at least watch the first one before I go see this, because I do want to go see it. I'd like to go see mostly every horror movie that comes out this year, but I don't know. I watched the snippet trailer, and it looks pretty cool. I don't really know what to expect because I haven't seen any of the movies, so I don't know. I guess I'm excited for it a little bit. I'll watch the first one, and I'll see how excited I really am for it, but we'll see on that one. This one looks like it's going to be a shit bomb, to be honest with you, but I had to talk about it because what the heck is this? Coming out May 7th, Amityville Bigfoot. Yeah, Amityville Bigfoot, like the Amityville Horror with Bigfoot. And this poster looks insane. I don't know. I don't think we're. It probably won't be in my theaters, but anywhere I can see this when it comes out, I'm gonna watch this thing because what the heck. A little synopsis says birdwatchers, activist scientists, and a film crew unknowingly converge in Bigfoot's neck of the woods where something even more sinister lurks. Sorry, I'm far away from my monitor. I can't read it barely, but what the heck is this? Like, directed by Sean Phillips. I'm not familiar with him. Let's see, does it show anything? No. I'm just so, like, curious with what the heck this is, to be honest. I had to mention it. So, if you didn't know, that's coming out. Amityville Bigfoot, May 7th. I don't know. I'm definitely checking it out. This is one that actually Preston, the guy that was my guest in the first podcast, the Halloween episode a few months ago, he's excited about this movie because this is like right up his alley. He sent me the trailer when it came out, and he was disappointed when I said that it didn't really excite me that much, but he should know me by now. It's definitely not my type of genre, but it's called Tear It. It comes out May 10th. The trailer, like I said, it looked very basic. I mean, it had a little bit of a different idea with these tarot cards, and each one has like a different monster on it, and these monsters come alive, and they each have their own personality and form. So that part had a little bit of difference in it, but other than that, this looked like a very basic paranormal movie with ghosts that have signs that I've seen before. But I'm a horror fan, and I love movies, so I will probably be there to see it in theaters. I might actually see about going to see that with Preston, because I know this is like his type of movie. That's his genre. That's what he likes. So I might go see that one with Preston, and maybe we'll even do a podcast on it if we feel it's worth it. But the little synopsis of that one says, when a group of friends recklessly violates the sacred rule of tarot readings, they unknowingly unleash an unspeakable evil trap within the cursed cards. One by one, they become face to face with fate and end up in a race against death. So that is Tear It. Not too excited for that one, but I'll be there. This one I'm pretty excited for. The Strangers Chapter 1. Comes out May 17th. I have seen the first Strangers. I have not seen the second one yet. It's on my watch list. I got it pinned to, I think, Prime Video is what it's on. It's on my list. I'm going to watch it here very soon. And I think this is a prequel from what the title sounds like. Chapter 1. I'm not 100% sure, but I liked the original Strangers. It was very good, low budget horror movie. I thought it was very well written and very well directed. So I'm pretty excited for that one. Then we got, we already talked about A Quiet Place Day 1. That was right there. Saw 11. I loved Saw X. It was a huge surprise for me. I actually gambled and bought it on Blu-ray without seeing anything because I missed it in theaters. I didn't go see a lot of movies in theaters last year. I'm kicking myself for it because a lot of good ones came out, but that's why I made the goal of watching more movies in theaters this year, because I don't want to miss out on those experiences ever again. But Saw 11, I'm very, very excited for because Saw X kicked ass. I loved it. And I'm glad that I bought the Blu-ray because it belongs on my shelf. Not much more I can say about this. I hope that they continue in a fair way. I hope that they don't try to go back to the cutting board of what they've usually done with the Saw movies. I hope they continue with what they did in Saw X and gave the fans what we've been wanting out of these Saw movies. So we will see, but I have no reason to doubt Saw 11. I have every reason to believe that it's going to be great, just like Saw X. So can't wait for that one. I'll be there day one. And that comes out September 27th, so later in the year. But can't wait. And even later in the year, actually, no, not even, a little bit sooner. Oh, wait, no, that's September. Never mind. October 25th, Terrifier 3. I'm pretty excited for this one. I like Terrifier 2. I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. I thought it was pretty creepy, and it was like an okay low-budget slasher movie with just a lot of gore. But I wasn't as big on it as most people. But when Terrifier 2 came out, I heard the hype about it. I didn't go see it, and I didn't see it day one because I'm not a huge fan of the first Terrifier. But once I heard the storm going on about Terrifier 2 and everybody talking about it in the horror community, I mean, that movie blew up when it came out. But I had to watch it, and I did, and I really liked it. I liked it a lot better than the first one. I loved how it was based on Halloween. And Terrifier 3 is based in Christmas time. So, can't wait to see what they do with that. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely bloody and gory, which sometimes that can be a little bit over the top for me. I sound like a stickler, but I'm not what you would consider a gore hound. I like a little bit here and there. I like good effects, but good practical effects, but it can get too much. It definitely goes a little bit too far in Terrifier 2, but got to respect for the practical effects that they're using in those. So I'm sure Terrifier 3 is going to be no different. It's going to be absolutely bloody, disgusting, and gory, so can't wait to see it. Should be good. Have no reason to doubt it. They should have a huge budget on this one with how good Terrifier 2 did. And last but not least, we have Nosferatu, which I am very, very excited about. I love vampires and vampire movies, so obviously I'm excited for Nosferatu. As of right now, it's coming out on Christmas, which I don't know how I feel about that. Why don't you release it in October? I don't understand that business route, but who am I to choose when a movie should come out? But either way, I'm super excited for this movie. I think it's going to be awesome. You got Bill Skarsgård in here, Pennywise. Lily Rose Depp. Is that Depp's daughter or something? I don't know, but it's right here. Directed by Robert Eggers. I'm not sure what he did. What has he done? The Northman, I think that made some noise. Oh, The Lighthouse, I remember that. The Witch. Okay, so he's got some stuff under his belt. Can't wait for that one. I'm super excited for that one. Let's go back to Movie Phone and just scroll down some of the other movies coming out. Maybe non-horror movies. Here soon we got Dune Part 2 coming out. With which I have not watched the first one yet, but this one has almost intrigued me to watch the first one. I'm not a huge sci-fi guy, but I love the Star Wars series. That's about as far as I've gotten into sci-fi, but these Dune movies, with how much noise the first one made, I'm very intrigued to watch this series with this new one coming out. So I might jump on the bandwagon and watch the first one so I can go see Part 2 in theaters, so because I'm sure it's going to be huge. So that one. And we got Godzilla x Kong. I cannot wait for this one. I loved Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong. Went and seen that one in theaters, and I loved it. I know a lot of people were mixed on it, but I really liked that movie. So I cannot wait for this one. I haven't seen a trailer for this one, I don't think. Maybe like a little snippet on a commercial or something. But I can't wait for that one. I'll be there day one. We already talked about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What else we got? We got No Way Up. That looks like a shark movie, maybe. No hope in that. God, they need to stop making shark movies. When are they going to learn their lesson? Lisa Frankenstein. I went and seen that. I made a short on that one. I'm debating making a review on that one tomorrow to drop real quick. I might do it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Let's see here. Venom 3. I might watch the first two just to watch that one. Like I said, I'm not a huge Marvel fan, so I haven't seen the first two Venoms, but I might watch them and go see that one. I don't know. We'll see. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. No hope in that. I know they got a much bigger budget because of how good the original one did, for no reason, because that movie was absolute dog water. Yeah, that one, they didn't even try on it. If they would have tried, I would be intrigued in this one, but I probably won't even watch the second one because of how disrespectful that first one was. That's about it. We're going farther down, and I don't really see much. So what's on your guys' watch list? Mine is gigantic. I bit off way more than I could chew with my watch list. I've started the Mission Impossible franchise. I've started the Terminator franchise, in which I've watched 3 of them. 3 or 4 more to go, I think. Mission Impossible, I'm like 20 minutes into the second one, so I got a long ways to go. Started them because I wanted to watch the new one, and then I think there's another one coming out next year or something like that, and I'd like to go see that one in theaters, so I'm going to watch those movies. I got all these Alien movies I need to watch for the review series. Got the Nightmare Elm Street movies to watch, and the Hellraiser movies to watch for the tier list rankings. Just watched Evil Dead Rise, which I'll talk about that in the tier list ranking, but holy crap, it surprised me. That's all I'm going to say right now, but boy, oh boy, I was not expecting that. Let's see here, I got quite a bit. All the movies that I talked about today that I need to see before I go see the sequels in theaters are on my list, and quite a bit more. Just recently picked up Knives Out today at Walmart. Picked up the Blu-ray. I couldn't pass it up. It was only $10, and it came in like a Walmart exclusive slipcover. And I've been wanting to watch it because it has Jamie Lee Curtis in it, obviously. It's got Daniel Craig, Chris Evans. It's got a stacked cast, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. So, can't wait to check that one out. It's kind of a random pickup. I couldn't pass it up for $10. But there's that. Talk about some of my recent watches. Me and my girlfriend just recently started watching Supernatural, which we're loving. We just finished the first season, just started the second one tonight. Got about 5 episodes in tonight of the second season, and we're very good. That's been one that Trenton, aka Ruger, has been begging me to watch for a long time. He's a super fan of that. He's watched the entire series multiple times. So he's a diehard Supernatural fan, and we're finally watching it, and it's very good. I'm not a huge show guy, but it's really impressed me so far. Been on a Wes Craven kind of kick. I watched the original Hills Have Eyes, which I love. I've always loved that movie, and I just rewatched it for the first time in a while, and I really like that movie. And it intrigued me to watch the remakes because I never watched them, and I've heard nothing but good things about them, or about the first one at least. And I went to Vintage Stock. They didn't have the Blu-rays, but I picked up the DVDs. Hills Have Eyes 1 and 2 remake, and I like the first one. The first one was really good, actually. Definitely one I'll rewatch. The second one I thought was very boring. I need to give it another rewatch because it bored me to where I was barely paying attention to it. But Lisa Frankenstein, which I already talked about earlier, we went to see that in theaters, and although it's not my type of movie, not my type of genre, it was a comedy movie with a little bit of horror. I like horror movies with a little bit of comedy. But for it not being my type of thing, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a very fun movie, and it was worth going to see. I think for the audience that it was going out to, that it was making the movie for, they're going to love this movie. It's going to be on a lot of people's October watch list, like I said in my community chat thing. For the people that it's made for, they're going to love it. But I had a lot of fun with it too, so. I guess I'll talk about channel news, upcoming channel plans, and upcoming videos. I got my calendar right here. So today is the 12th. So my Alien vs. Predator review came out this morning. Whoa. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm going to watch and review My Bloody Valentine tomorrow. That'll come out Valentine's Day morning. And then, if I can watch all the movies in time, tier list ranking number 5 will come out Friday. And then from there we'll go on. But that's the upcoming week. Or that's this week. and should be a pretty good week of videos. Like I said on this podcast, it's going to be kind of like a freelance thing. Whenever I feel like making one, I'll make one. Whenever I feel like there's something to talk about, I'll talk about it. Today's a short episode. I'm only going on, 35 minutes right now? So, pretty short episode. But I really wanted to just get on here and talk about movies after this long work day. I said I worked 11 hours today. I was dying. But I know that's nothing to some people, but for me it's pretty long. And I just wanted to get on here, relax, sit back, drink a cup of coffee, and talk about movies. So, can't wait for the upcoming movie season. Can't wait to go to the theaters again. Can't wait for all the sequels coming out. And can't wait to continue the podcast and the review series on my YouTube channel. So, hope you guys enjoyed this laid back podcast, laid back show. I plan to do more. I'm going to try to get more guests on. I'll definitely get Preston back on. I'm going to try to get Trenton on to talk about something. We'll have to find something. I know he's a huge fan of the Jurassic Park series. So maybe we'll do something with that. So we'll see. And maybe I'll do more by myself like this if I can plan them to be longer. I try to shoot for 40 minutes at minimum. I'm going to hit right under today probably. Or maybe right at, but... yeah, and also, I forgot, I am going to try to get this podcast on more platforms, as far as podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the other ones. So it can be like audio only and not just on YouTube. Because I know I listen to my podcast on Spotify, so I know it's kind of inconvenient to have a podcast on YouTube. And I'm going to try to figure out the whole thing with uploading them on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because I honestly have no idea how. I don't know if you do that individually or if you have to get some type of plan or something, but I'm going to try to figure that out so I can get the audio of this podcast on Spotify and all the other ones, because I know it's a lot easier. I know I wouldn't listen to a podcast on YouTube very often, but I'm still going to make them until I figure it out, because I kind of make this podcast for me. I listen to it. I go back and listen to my reviews and stuff while I'm at work. So I kind of just make them for me. If people listen, cool. But hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one with whatever we talk about. Thanks for listening.